Hi, I'm Barb Bornes, and I'm a clothing leader here in Monroe County 4-H and also part of the Norwalk Clovers 4-H Club. I'm going to show you how to work on your button project. The items that you need, of course, are the string, the buttons, the pattern. Find a toothpick. You've got your mat that came with it, and you'll also need a pair of scissors to trim your strings. So the first thing you're going to do is take your needle, find the eye on the needle, which is the very top here, and we're going to thread it. Now, if the thread does not go through, you need to trim it a little bit, and that's why you need your scissors, because you need a fine end on your thread. You thread it through, find the end of your string, and then you are going to take and you are going to match your ends up, and I knot it and I wrap it around my index finger. I have the string, the cut end over top of the long part. I fold it through and I pull it, and as I pull, I like to push the knot up towards the end so that I do not waste a lot of the string. Then I will take my scissors and trim it. Oops. There, like that. So I have just a small amount of thread on by the knot. The next thing you're going to do is take your button and lay it on your pumpkin to find the location that you want it where the eye is. I have mine pretty well centered. I'm going to take my needle, and for this project, I ask that you have a larger needle. For people who do not do a lot of sewing, it's easier to sew with a larger needle than it is with a smaller needle. I prefer a smaller needle when I'm doing my sewing, so it may be a little awkward for me. But you're going to hold on to your button, hold on to the back of your fabric, take your needle and put it through the fabric. We're hiding our knot, and I can actually make it so that I have that needle come up through that eye, and then you tug it so that it's tight. Then you take and put your needle down through so it's coming through the back. This is what the back looks like. And when I get the string almost all the way through, I will take my toothpick and put the toothpick through the center of between the two eyes. And what we're doing is we're making a shank so that when we're done, the button sits up higher. On a project like this, we would not normally have to do it that way, but to show you how to do a shank, we're doing this project this way. And a shank helps when you're buttoning on a blouse or a shirt or a pair of pants. It gives you more space so that you're not tugging on your buttonhole, and it gives you a smoother line on your garment. I'm going to do this about 3 times only on this project because this is not a garment. This is going to be just for decorations. If this was on a garment, you're going to want to do it 5 or 6 times. So I'm just going up and down. And once you get it anchored good, I'm able to feel where that hole is, but if you can't, just flip it over and you can see where your string is coming up through. This is going to be my last time down. Now when I bring it up again, I'm going to bring it up through, but I'm going to pull my toothpick out, take the needle, go back down through that button, and so now I have it between the button and the fabric, and I'm going to wrap that around tightly. You need to pull tight, 5 or 6 times. Then once you're done with that, you're going to take your needle, put it between the strings that where your thread goes down and where your thread comes up, because we're going to knot this. And I like to do this at least 2 times before I cut my thread. So I'll do it once that direction, then I will actually take it and come back the other way too. And this time I'm going to go through twice to just give it a little extra security. Pull it tight. Take your scissors and just trim your string. So now your first button is on. It's up off the fabric so that it will actually move a little bit. And if you had a buttonhole, you would slide that over top and it would have room to move. So to do your next one, you're going to have to take and knot your string again. If you do not knot your string, it's going to pull through, and you're going to have problems with your button not staying on. Okay, and we'll do the other button. So we're going to start right here, take it through, come up, go down, and you may find that the second one goes easier because your string is not as long. If you don't feel comfortable with the long string, take and measure your string, cut it in half, and use 1/2 for each button. And see, and that's what happens when my knot is not very big. And I just lost my button. So I'm going to put a second knot in it. So if something like that happens to you, do a double knot. With this fabric, you can see the weave in it is a little larger, so that's why it will do that. I'm glad this happened so that if anyone has that problem, they know what to do. Okay, we'll start again. We'll go through, and we're going to go down. Pull that through. As you can see, the corners of the fabric square sometimes gets in the way, so you just have to take your time and move that out of the way. There we go. Now it's going to stay. And I too have problems sometimes finding the hole. My string is not tight, so you can see what happens if you do not keep your string tight also. There it comes. Once. I'm going to tug on that a little harder now to make sure it stays. Here we go. And this is probably a little faster than what most of you will be able to do this, but I've been sewing for a few years, so it makes a difference. And see, I just lost my location. Sometimes I will put my finger near the edge of where the hole is so that when I'm going down, I feel for my fingernail and know that that's where I've got to come back up. So now I'm going to come back up, pull my toothpick out, go down through the eye, pull it up taut, and then wrap my string around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did 5 that time. Take, and I don't know if you can see this, I'm going through my strings. There's my knot. Now I'm going to go through one more time. I'm going to go through this loop twice, pull it taut, cut your string. I now have my 2 eyes on my pumpkin. Now comes the fun part, getting this putting your pumpkin on your adhesive magnet. You want to try and line it up, go from the center out. With these buttons on here, you can't just take your fingers and roll it or to push it tight. And you work from the center out so it doesn't bubble. And then we're going to take and turn it over and take our scissors. You'll want to use a sharp scissors or shears if you use something that is dull, you're going to have a hard time going through this fabric and you're going to leave rough edges. So we're almost done. And there is your pumpkin, all ready to be put on a refrigerator or a something magnetic. And if you really want to get creative, you can cut around and just have the pumpkin yourself. So that is our button craft for the month. Happy Halloween.